Om Sahana Vavatu Sahano Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karvavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastuma Vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om. Shri Gurubhyo Namah. Hari Om. We are studying Tattvabodha. I'll chant the Mangalacharan. Vasudevendra Yogendram Natva Jnana Pradam Gurum Mumukshunam Hitarthaya Tattvabodho Vidhiyate. Hari Om. So, we have read in Tattvabodha Vivek, Atma Satyam. Now today we are going to study what exactly does it mean, and before that we have already done what it is not. So it is not the three bodies, and it is not the five panch koshas. It's not the five koshas, and it is the sakshi of the three states of consciousness. So let us go to nature of the self. What is the nature of the self, which is different from the three bodies, the witness of the three states, and beyond the five sheaths? Atma tarhi kaha Satchidanand Swarupaha. What is Atma then? It is of the nature of Sat Chit Anand, existence, consciousness, bliss. The not self, Anatma, was described in its entirety, and it was explained how it is not the self, Atma. The three bodies, five sheaths, and the three states constitute the not self. Then what is the self? The nature of the self can be indicated in two ways. One is Tatastha Lakshan, which is saying or indicated with respect to the world and its conditioning as the cause of the world, or the witness of thoughts and so on. So we have already studied it is the witness of the three states. So we can define Atma as through this medium also. This is called Tatastha Lakshan. Or we indicate self as Sarup Lakshan, which is indicated directly as infinite, eternal, and so on. So in the following text, the self is indicated by Sarup Lakshan as existence, consciousness, bliss. Each is now explained. So far it was indirect, now it is direct. What Atma is. Existence. Sat kim kaltreyapi tishtati iti sat. So that is Sat, which is available or remains in all the three time zones, all the three Kals. What are the three periods of time? Past, present, and future. And how do we talk of past and the future? With respect to the present. The past and the future are called so only with respect to the present. The self is present in all the three periods of time. It means it was always there and will ever be. There was never a time when I was not, and there will never be a time when I will not be there. So whenever I is said, it will be taken as Atma. And this is exactly what verse 12 of chapter 2 of Gita reads. Verse 12 of chapter 2 of Gita says, Na tvevaham jatu nasam, na tvam neme janadipa, na chaiv na bhavishyama, sarve vyamata parma. ना तो ऐसा ही है कि मैं किसी काल में नहीं था, ना तो एवाहम जातो नासम, अथवा तू नहीं था, ये राजा नहीं थे, और ना ऐसा ही है कि इससे आगे हम सब नहीं रहेंगे. So when Lord Krishna is saying this to Arjuna, that has been put here. There was never a time when I was not. There will never be a time when I will not be there. So he is referring to the Atma. Atma will always be there. Birth is the coming into existence of a particular name and form, and death is their destruction. Since I ever exist, I am birthless. Now what happens when you say Atma always is? So these things are implied. It means it is ajanma, it is amar, deathless, it is anadi, beginningless. जब जन्मा ही नहीं है तो beginningless ही होगा ना. और जब it is deathless, amar, so it is anant, endless. So anadi, anant, ajanma, amar. Anything with a name, form and quality undergoes birth, death and change. ये एक आप लॉ जो है ना, जैसे मैं बताता हूँ लॉ लिख लो, ये भी एक लॉ है. Anything with a name, form and quality undergoes birth, death and change. So the moment somebody introduces such and such with such and such name, moment a name is, you know कि भाई नश्वर चीज़ है ये. So now this is how you operate. नश्वर चीज़ से आप अपना मोह करोगे, अपना एसोसिएशन करोगे, अपना अटैचमेंट करोगे, तो दुख किसको होगा? आप ही को होगा, क्योंकि आपने उस चीज़ से मोह करा है जो नश्वर है. सो एनीथिंग विद अ नेम, फॉर्म, क्वालिटी इज बाउंड टू चेंज. Being birthless, I am timeless. I am Nitya. Remember? Nitya, Nitya Vivek. The only Nitya is Brahman. That was also said. Here it is saying about Atma. I am timeless, Nitya. I am changeless, Avikari. If I change, then I will not be Nitya. I am nameless. Name we have just discussed. If it has a name, it will come and it will go. कभी तो उसका नामकरण होगा ना. जिस दिन नामकरण होगा उस दिन आएगा वो. Formless, because I am eternal, birthless, anadi, I can't have a form. If I have a form, it will begin here and it will end there. And attributeless, nirguna. I don't even have an attribute, because the moment I have an attribute, like I am an angry man, there is a change. अभी angry हूँ, कल नहीं हूँ. Or it also forecloses the possibility of anything else. This objectless existence is of the nature of pure being. Atma is of the nature of pure being. Shuddha Chaitanya. In it there is no becoming, as it is changeless, nirvikar. All these words you add to your dictionary. Nirvikar is changeless, and it doesn't become anything. It remains just as it is. Everything exists because of this existence principle, which is the very substratum of the entire universe. Now, why does he say Atma is the substratum of the entire universe? Why does he say that? He says this because if you are Nitya, you are the only one, can there be anybody else other than you? Because if there is somebody else, then there will be two of you. You will have a form, you will start, this is me and this is him. So both will become limited, finite, birth. They will not remain birthless and deathless, so on and so forth. So one being one is implied in being Nitya. If you are Nitya, it means you are one. Now if you are one and there is something else, it has to be embedded in you only. You have to be the substratum for that. So one of the most favored examples of in Vedanta is a snake on a rope. If there is a snake lying in the dark and you can't see it properly, you mistake it for a rope. So the rope is the substratum for the snake.
When you say it's basically what we, like just say conditioning, we give a conditioning?
No.
So on a snake, we've given a conditioning, it's looking like a rope.
No, we have not given it. It appears to be because it is dark. We are ignorant.
We are ignorant.
We are ignorant, we can't see the rope properly. So we say it, we can say anything. We say, I'm just giving an example, we call it a snake. So if we say a snake on a rope mistakenly, then that rope is the substratum for that snake to exist. You remove this rope, snake will disappear. Snake is there so long the rope is there. And secondly, so long your ignorance is there. But we are not talking of ignorance because we are talking of the snake being there. So where does it appear? It appears in the substratum of the rope. Similarly, Atma gives the substratum for everything that you see. So this Jagat is appearing in the substratum of Brahman. That is how it is to be understood. And how do you know it is there? Because you know about yourself, I am, I exist permanently. Whether it is dark or it is light or it is night, whether I am sleeping or I am awake or I am dreaming, I am always there. Everything is happening on that I. ये बहुत important है.
So Arunji, you said the Brahman is the substratum for Jagat.
See, we are only, so Brahman and Atma, they are one and the same.
It's like when you're talking of cosmos, you said we can use it as Brahman.
Then it has to be Brahman. You when you use it for yourself, use it as Atma.
Yeah.
But one of the main, the Mahavakya in the great Vakya, they say the great sentence in Upanishads is Aham Brahma Asmi, I am Brahman. My Atma and Brahman are same. And we are seeing it. Nitya do to hote nahi. So we already said Brahman, about Brahman, Nityam ekam vastu is Brahman.
Yeah.
ठीक है.
Yeah.
और ऐसे ही हमने सत्यम में कहा. What is Satyam? That will exist in all the three periods. So Satyam means Nitya only. Atma is also Satyam and that is also that is Nityam and that is also Nityam. Now, when you are Nitya, you are only one. Now you can't say Atma and Brahman are two.
Yeah.
Huh? So only thing is that when you talk, as you said, when you talk of Jagat, you say it is appearing in Brahman. When you talk of yourself, you say I am appearing on Atma. Though you can very well say I am appearing in Brahman. Nothing to stop you from saying that. Everything exists because of this existence principle, which is the very substratum of the entire universe. It is experienced in the world as the isness of an object, such as the book is, the table is, and so on. It is experienced within as I am. We can't deny that I am. We can't deny that there's a painting behind you. There is that isness of everything, and the amness of myself is Atma. It is on the substratum of Atma only. So we move on to any questions. We move on to consciousness, which is called Chit Kim Jnana Swarupa. So consciousness is of the nature of absolute knowledge. This, make a note of this Chit. This is Adhata, Chit. If it is Adhata with another Purata, it becomes Chitta, which is a part of Antakaran. This is only Chit, half the. So Chit is of the nature of absolute knowledge. What does it mean? Knowledge of the world is gained as thoughts of the mind. This is clear? Knowledge of the world is gained as thoughts of the mind. Without thoughts, no knowledge of any object is possible. This is a book. I am hungry. I do not understand. And so on are thoughts of the mind. Agreed? Without me, the thoughts cannot be known. This is important. Now you ask if you want to ask a question.
This me, the Atma.
Yeah. Wherever it's written me and I, it is the Atma. So, without me, the thoughts cannot be known. Why?
That means I'm only controlling the thoughts.
No. That is where you need to understand it properly. First of all, why is it said that without me, the thoughts will not be known?
Because I am the energy of this whole body, no? So if I am not there, those thoughts are meaningless. I'm like I'm the energy behind this whole body, right?
I am the
Energy behind the body. Energy means I make word use किया था इसके लिए, but energy is not the correct word. It's like a pran, no?
So all these are inert things.
Yeah.
They are all objects. And Atma is not an object or it's not an inert thing. So carefully note, it is a substratum, everything is happening on it.
Yeah.
So if there is a thought, it is happening on that only. You remove it, there is no thought. How will anybody know any thought if the substratum is not there? And substratum is there because it is the only one. And that only one cannot be known because it is the only one. So how is it to be known? How is Atma to be known?
Because we're experiencing everything on this substratum, so we know there is something beyond.
Who's that we? Who's that we?
Power.
Who's that we?
The I mean, I.
And that is Atma.
Yeah.
And my question is, who is to know the Atma?
The here we'll say the Vishwa.
No, Vishwa is, what is Vishwa?
The association with the gross body, that one.
So that association is itself a superimposition on Atma only.
Yes.
See, Atma associating with all these things become Vishwa. So remove all those things, it's only Atma.
Yeah.
So who is to know the Atma? So Atma is the only one. There can be no other to know the Atma.
Yeah.
So Atma is known by itself. It is self-illuminating.
Okay. Correct words.
And when you say it is knowledge absolute, it illumines everything else.
Right. Okay.
It is, and therefore, our challenge in knowing ourselves, that is Atma, is the moment we say I can see it, I can feel it, I'm in a state of peace, so I am in touch with Atma. That is all a make-believe story because nobody can see Atma.
Okay.
It is mind playing games.
Okay.
Whenever you see something, whenever you experience,
So, Arunji, so when we say that that blissful state, it's all make-believe, but that blissful state, I thought when we are in that blissful state, we realize that is our connect with our Atma.
So there are two things. A blissful state and our realization that we are connected. Our realization we are connected is making a story. Blissful state, that happiness you are enjoying every now and then, that comes from your Atma only. Every small happiness you are getting.
That blissful state, whenever we reach that, so that's a reminder to us, yes, that's where...
It's coming from there. Yes. Okay. So, you mark this. Without me, thoughts cannot be known. I illumine all my thoughts while remaining different from them. I am the substratum, so I have to be different from everything else. Whatever thoughts come, I just illumine them, but I am different. I not only illumine presence of my thoughts, but also their absence. Like in deep sleep, I say, I did not know. Kim api na janami. I do not know. Thoughts come and go. But I remain unchanging and ever shining. Then who illumines the self? None can illumine the self. It being the subject, the self can never be known as an object of knowledge. Also, there is no need to illumine it, as it is self-shining. So these are very fundamental things of Vedanta. If you are a student of Vedanta, these things should be known to you. They will be taken as presumed you know this. Their definitions are sari. The sun does not need a torchlight to illumine it. I always know that I am. I do not need anyone else to tell me so. Even in deep sleep state, when the mind is not functioning, I am. And I know that I am as I get up saying I slept well. This self-shining, ever-shining knowledge principle is called Chit or consciousness, which is my true nature. ठीक है. Next is Ananda Kaha Sukh Swarupaha. What is bliss? It is of the nature of absolute happiness. A thing is dear to me only when it gives joy. I love my house as it is a place that gives me comfort and joy. I love myself the most. I love others for my sake. Remember, these are very important things. But I love myself unconditionally, totally, eternally. Or I love for one's sake. Therefore, I must be the source of absolute happiness. There is sorrow in finitude. हम क्या चाहते हैं? हमने पढ़ाई शुरू करी अत्यांतिक दुख की निवृत्ति और परमानंद प्राप्ति. तो परमानंद प्राप्ति मीन्स इटर्नल हैप्पीनेस और अत्यांतिक दुख मीन्स यू डोंट वांट एनी सॉरो एट ऑल. बट सॉरो कहाँ है? इन फाइनाइट्यूड. और हमारा एसोसिएशन अटैचमेंट कहाँ है? फाइनाइट्यूड में. जो चीज़ नश्वर है, जिसकी हमें पता है छोटी लाइफ है, उसी के साथ हम अटैच्ड हैं दिन रात. तो सॉरो तो इनबिल्ट है ना इन दैट फाइनाइट्यूड. दैट इज वाई वी हैव इट. द सेल्फ इज बियॉन्ड टाइम, स्पेस एंड ऑब्जेक्ट्स. It is infinite and hence of the nature of absolute bliss. So since it is infinite, there is no finitude in it, finiteness in it, it is absolute bliss. Each thing tends to move towards its own nature. I always desire happiness, which is my true nature. My nature is never a burden to me. Happiness is never a burden to me, while sorrow is. Then why don't I experience this happiness? Why am I miserable or dissatisfied most of the time? The desire in my mind for objects veils this happiness. In moments when I am peaceful, I do experience joy within myself. Now, what's your question? You were talking of that bliss. What's your question? Unmute yourself.
Yeah. I understood. Basically, what we have to remember is that we are attached to these finite things, objects and all. So we have to get away from them and attach ourselves to the infinite, which is...
So, how will you attach yourself to the infinite?
Back to the beginning of the text, being aware of Nitya Nitya and Virag. I think all these will help us.
Very right. So, Yogyata, you develop the Yogyata, we'll come to it. Next conclusion, it is that how do we go about it? So, think about it. We'll talk more about next time. But these three things, Sat, Chit, Anand.
Times today, because they are all the qualities that we are talking about.
But you have to remember they are not qualities or attributes, they are the nature of Atma.
Not really.
They are not.
It finds up.
So this is what Atma is. It's not an attribute because then again it will change.
It can change, yes. Exactly. Yeah.
Anilji, anything? You have been meditating most of the time?
No, I have been listening.
Of course.
Carefully.
Of course.
बहुत ध्यान से सुन रहा था.
तभी मेडिटेशन में थे ना.
सुन रहा.
तो अब कुछ हमें अब ज्ञान भी तो दीजिए उस टोटल सुनने का.
They're all here.
जो एकदम सरल बात है कि गुरुजी जैसा कह रहे हैं कि ये एब्सोल्यूट नॉलेज है और इजनेस है, एग्जिस्टेंस है. मतलब ये सब स्ट्रैटम है जिसमें पूरा विश्व पैदा हो रहा है और उसी में विलीन होता है, और नॉलेज पूरी इसी में है। जो भी विश्व में दिखता है माइंड को, जो थॉट्स और वर्ड्स हैं, वो थॉट्स और वर्ड्स भी इसी से इल्यूमाइन होते हैं। और इसका नेचर सुख स्वरूप है। जो भी हमें सुख बाहर मिल रहा है वो उसी की वजह से है, उसकी झलक मात्र है। और ये नेचर है, गुण नहीं है। गुण तो बदलते रहते हैं, लेकिन नेचर जो है वो चेंज नहीं होता है, वो चेंजलेस है। तो ये जो है आत्मा के गुण नहीं है, ये आत्मा का स्वरूप, नेचर या ब्रह्म का स्वरूप है।
Thank you, Anilji. So we'll conclude for today and we'll take it up tomorrow. पढ़ भी लीजिएगा आप, and then we can have a good, not tomorrow means Monday. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om. Shri Gurubhyo Namah. Hari Om. Hari Om.